How's it going, everybody? So, in this video, I'm just going to be sharing with y'all a couple of updates and one badass announcement that I think most of my subscribers are going to be very excited to hear. We'll actually start with, well, I got a couple announcements. So, the first big announcement is, as many of y'all know, especially from my last video, the past couple months, I've been training for this jujitsu tournament that happened this past Saturday, actually, where I did win a gold medal. It was my first competition as a blue belt in jujitsu, my blue belt debut. Um, and shout out to my sponsor who sponsored me for this tournament. If it wasn't for my sponsor, I probably would not have registered for a tournament so soon and gone so far out of my comfort zone. But thanks to my sponsor sponsoring me this year, I was like, well, if I have a $500 sponsorship to compete, I might as well compete and take full advantage of it. And so that's exactly what I did. And I actually won as a result. I was wanting to wait to compete as a blue belt for another year or so because I just felt like there's a lot of blue belts out there that have been training jujitsu for like, you know, 4 or 5 years. And whereas I've only been doing it for about 2.5, 3 years. Um, and the skill gap in the blue belt division is really large. But anyway, so yeah, I won. And maybe I'll make more videos about my diet and preparation and really all the lessons I learned. I'll make a video about that shortly. So another major announcement is that the founder of Hyperion Herbs, Brandon Gilbert, and myself actually recorded a podcast together. And it was about maybe 3.5 hours long originally. And we recorded this about 2 weeks ago now, actually. And thanks to my some of my subscribers who actually requested that on his channel. Um, so we touched on a lot of different topics. The first topic that we kind of touched on was some of the deeper um, health issues that I struggled with as a child, actually. Something that I don't really talk as much about on my channel, just because I'm not the person that I was back then, I guess. And I just don't, I don't know. But yeah, we talked about basically me being hospitalized as a child like 5 times in and out of mental hospitals, and how my doctor gave me a doomsday sentence, told my mother that I would never live a normal life, that I would always need to be inside a inpatient hospital for my entire life. I'd never be able to live alone or have a career or have normal relationships, which is crazy looking at all the things I've accomplished and like how high I've risen since then. Anyway, so we go into deep kind of philosophical discussion surrounding kind of like just the doomsday sentences of the medical profession, and a lot of the limiting beliefs and really the inefficiency of their approaches and paradigm, and all of the kind of, I guess, nuances surrounding that topic. We also talk a little bit about herbalism and tonic herbs, and we touch a little bit on how a lot of people that are kind of like obsessing over nutrition and health and whatnot, um, basically the underlying mechanisms behind why that happens and some of the solutions as to where people should go after that. We touch a little bit on internal martial arts like Tai Chi and Qigong, and some of the, you know, a lot of the fakeness in that and legitimacy, which I definitely don't claim to be an expert on that myself. But Brandon Gilbert, he wouldn't claim that he is an expert, but I would say he's way obviously he's dramatically more skilled than I'll ever be, which is fine. I've never claimed to be an expert in internal arts, and I try not to talk as if I am one, but I did do internal arts from a practitioner that I felt was legit, for a number of years. So anyway, yeah, definitely that podcast. Go and subscribe to Brandon Gilbert's channel. He has two channels. The one that you want to subscribe to, his active channel, has over 40,000 subscribers on it. So that's how you know it's the right channel. Um, so go and subscribe to Brandon Gilbert's active channel and follow Hyperion Herbs on Instagram. Okay, so um, another thing to kind of mention is I've been following Brandon Gilbert since around 2013. And just his approach to YouTube and the dynamic lecture style of discussions that he records and puts on YouTube, and a lot of the topics they talked about and the information that I found helpful from his channel. A lot of the content from his channel over the years was pretty influential in how I've approached YouTube. Basically, going on a journey myself and then just sharing the things that I found to be effective and really true in my own experience, as well as the research and the other people's experiences, and especially after working with so many clients over the years. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like a style that uh, I guess I could say Brandon Gilbert pioneered at first, but not really. I don't know. All I'm saying is he definitely was very influential to how I approach YouTube. So, also the freaking most potent herbal extracts, okay, on anywhere that I've ever tried. And, obviously my entire YouTube channel, for the most part over the years, has been just me experimenting and trying all sorts of different brands and extract ratios and different types of herbs and things and supplements, and deep research on all of these compounds and things. So very obviously I have experimented with the ins and outs of all of these different herbs and compounds. So when I say, hey, like Hyperion Herbs is the highest quality that you can find, this is not some random nootropic reviewer dude who hasn't really experienced much with it. Like, um, I've tried all different brands and extracts, and you'd be surprised how many brands will actually say, hey, this is a 10-to-1 hot water extract. And you take it, doesn't taste like the product, doesn't feel like the product, and you wonder if it's even the real product. Well, with Hyperion Herbs, um, I've tried like out of probably, I don't know, let's just say 100 orders that I've taken from them over the years. I'll be honest, there's like one time where I thought I was given chaga instead of uh, reishi, but that was like once. And I wasn't really sure because it still made me feel super grounded and calm. I just figured it was an older extract of reishi for the time being because it was around COVID, and so there were distribution issues around then. So I think he switched to a different extract, just like temporarily at the time. Anyway, so I mean, but it was still legit, whether it was chaga or not. But other than that, I mean, I've taken his reishi, probably at least, I don't know, 20 orders of reishi over the years. Cordyceps has been the most consistent extract from them that I've tried. I probably had at least probably 25 orders of cordyceps since 2021 from him, and it's always been consistent, the same texture, the same color, even though you shouldn't expect natural extracts to be that way, and very, very high potency. So, and all of my clients that I've, recommended or suggested Hyperion Herbs in one form of another, they've all had nothing but good reviews for it, especially the cordyceps with my fighters. Um, one of them was taking like a whole tablespoon of cordyceps. He told me he's taken 3 tablespoons of cordyceps before training at one point. I'm like, bro, I think you mean teaspoons, but even so, that's a really high dose. He insisted 3 tablespoons. I'm like, probably teaspoons, but still pretty high dose. And he was like, man, like, My endurance, my just ability to keep going during MMA training has, doubled or even tripled. Like the excitement that he had surrounding the boost he got from the cordyceps is pretty amazing. And I would say that I found the same thing as well. So anyway, yeah. So I mean, for me, um, it is like like it is the best freaking herb company that you can buy from. Definitely. So, anyway, super stoked and excited about that podcast for all of those reasons. So definitely go and check out Brandon Gilbert on YouTube. And he like the big style that I'd say he pioneered is a nonchalant, does not care about your thoughts or your feelings attitude per se, not scared to like be blunt and straightforward and transparent and offend people. Tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And it's kind of like just this balanced stream of consciousness that he just kind of like feeds directly into your freaking pineal gland, your pineal gland through the camera. And I think that's why my subscribers enjoy my content so much as well. So anyway, yeah, so go subscribe. So yeah, those are the two big announcements. So now I had some updates. Oh yeah, here's some updates. So this is actually the first video that I'm going to post on my YouTube channel that I'm using a completely new computer setup with. Okay. So previously, I had an older computer. I didn't realize how low the RAM was on that old computer until now. It was like 3 gigabytes of RAM, and it was running Windows 7. Um, I think the computer was like from 2012 or something. It's super old, right? And, surprisingly, I was doing decently with it. I was doing okay. Like, it would run the video games I like to play, which are mostly old school shooters and stuff like Unreal Tournament 2004. So I'd hope it would be able to run it, right? But I noticed it was so slow. Like, this is the big thing. I'm sure some of my older subscribers might remember I had done some Frank Tufano reaction videos, and I did videos reacting to like Milton Mills and some of these vegan doctors, which I think I actually have them in a playlist now. I'll have to go and verify, but you can check on my channel. I have them on a playlist so you could watch them all. They're hilarious. The problem is it was hard to find software that would allow me to videotape my screen, like record my screen and my camera at the same time that wasn't overly complicated and didn't lag. So, for example, the easiest one I found was Loom. So I was like recording reaction videos using Loom, but the problem with and Loom was working well. It wasn't lagging or anything. The problem is I was running Windows 7, so I couldn't use their desktop app. And I was paying like $15 a month for the browser plugin that I was using for the premium. And it had like a little window in the corner that would always be that would be inside the video, but it had the record buttons and stuff, and it just looked clunky and cheap. It didn't look like it was meant to record like, reaction videos or professional presentations. It served the purpose, and I know most people they care more about the quality on my channel, or they care more about the content on my YouTube channel rather than the quality. Because I've kind of selectively developed my subscriber base, I guess, to be biased towards that. I just feel like people who care too much about presentation and aesthetics, I feel like they're generally, in my opinion, shallow minded, but that's just me, in my opinion. Anyway, I still kind of just wanted some legit software, right? So, what I'm getting at is like I tried using OBS Studio to record reaction videos, but it was so laggy, it was just frustrating. Um, so now basically, and the other thing is my browser was going super slow and it was really slow. And it's what you'd expect with only 3 gigabytes of RAM in the modern age. So I upgraded. I on Amazon.com I found like a Think Center, a Lenovo Think Center. It's a tiny microcomputer. for like $100 on Amazon. It was Amazon refurbished or whatever. For $100, and it's like an i5 processor. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I know it's not 32, which is what I would have rather had. Um, but it does everything I was wanting and more. Like just upgrading to this $100 micro PC that has 16 gigs of RAM. It has Windows 10, whatever. Um, now, I mean, I'm using software that basically came with the computer to record this video. And it also has an option to record the screen and video that I haven't tested yet. So it kind of comes standard with the software I was wanting. And I haven't tried OBS Studio yet, but I'm going to assume that it's not lagging like my old computer probably was. The other thing is I can actually browse using Chrome and stuff without it like taking forever just to load the Google search page, right? And my video games don't take forever to open. So yeah, because the thing is with my YouTube channel, one big reason why I just didn't make content is because it was so frustrating to try to record videos and then having these errors, having all like taking 10 minutes to open an application or to open up Google Chrome. All the lagging just really ruined my motivation because it was so stressful. Um, it just felt like there was a blockade, like too many obstacles just to do a simple task that used to be easy back in like on my old laptop from 2009. I just open up Windows Movie Maker, record a video using the built-in webcam, and upload it in 5 minutes. But everything's trying to be so high tech. I got to like upgrade my damn hardware to keep up with it, or else it'll just be lagging and slow. I'm not, I have a lot of bitter, cynical kind of energy towards modern technology. I feel like the more innovative they try to be, like the more frustrating and like just unnecessarily challenging things get, honestly. But like, anyway, simplicity and basic is what I'd rather have, but whatever. So I'm good now, right? That's a big update. So one more update from my future herb experiments. I guess I'll make more dedicated videos about it. But now that I've kind of like won this gold medal as a blue belt, like I've got so much stuff on my plate. Like people don't understand. I'm training for jujitsu. I am trying to do my lifting, which is hard to do. Believe it or not, even though I work at a gym now, I have like a pretty hectic schedule full of clients, personal training, health consulting, and other things. And then trying to get some rest on the side because, to be honest, being a personal trainer, it can be an exhausting job. I'm always standing, walking around, showing, demonstrating different lifting exercises and things. So all day I'm basically doing like a marathon of endurance training, believe it or not. Um, I'm always lifting things and walking around and being active and energetic and talking to people, uh, and yelling at people to go harder. So it can be very exhausting. So I notice like the weekends, I just want to like lay down the entire weekend. I don't even have enough energy sometimes to like play video games after a long day of work. Because I have to like sit or something, right? I think it's mostly just so much stimulation, right? On top of doing jujitsu, especially the only time I have for jujitsu now is like lunchtime, like around 11 o'clock, and then trying to lift weights, which is like, you know, I only have like 30 minutes to an hour to lift weights now. It was crazy. Um, so yeah, my schedule can be pretty demanding, right? So leading into this competition, I was making some sacrifices. I was allowing myself to block off like maybe an evening or two to dedicate to jiu-jitsu. So I would have a good 3 hours of jiu-jitsu training on top of my anyway, now what I'm trying to do, and so I had a lot of supplements I was taking to like offset a lot of the hecticness. The people who say, "Oh no, you should be able to just like, you know, eat nothing but meat and be healthy. Supplements, if you have to take supplements, you're not healthy." Or like, you shouldn't need caffeine, or like you should be able to be raw vegan and be healthy, whatever, and no supplements, no caffeine, and blah blah blah. Like these people don't understand. Like when you actually are living a life with purpose. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. It's not like this hustle culture crap, like David Goggins or whatever, where you got to like suffer all the time and life is all about suffering to get success. It's not like that. But when you are like doing what you're passionate about, like I am, and your whole freaking day is just like dealing, training people and doing all this stuff, it's rewarding and it's amazing. And I'd rather do this than anything else. But it requires like your nutrition to be on point, your sleep to be on point, and supplements, tonic herbs, caffeine really freaking helps. Someone who has a desk job, yeah, that's fatiguing because it's so monotonous and boring and whatever. You're training your body to just like be sedentary. So of course it's gonna make you tired, but this is like you better like make sure that everything is on point. How the hell am I gonna sell personal training or like, teach all these different personality types about the different types of exercise and nutrition if I'm dragging throughout the day? I have to always be in a good mood and all this other crap. So taking things like ginseng and cordyceps and for some people reishi mushroom or polyrachis black ant, stuff like that can be like the major thing that allows you to sustain high performance in such a demanding lifestyle. People without a purpose or who've never like been, actually been attacking life, like hustling or whatever, they don't understand. They don't understand. They're the type of people that leave comments in YouTube just grilling you for like drinking, like, God forbid I drink a cup of coffee in the morning, right? Anyway, and I do only do like one meal a day technically. I have like an hour eating window at the end of the day because I don't have time to fucking eat throughout the day. So maybe if I ate more throughout the day, that would help too, right? Anyway, where's he going with this? Oh yeah. So anyway, now what I'm trying to do is find balance, right? So I was taking Panax Red Ginseng. I was taking high dose cordyceps. I was taking a lot of caffeine every day. What else was I taking? There was a point where I was taking maca, but that was giving me the energy, but preventing me from sleeping and making me feel really agitated. So I was doing a lot more like stimulating herbs, even like so-called adaptogens or tonic herbs that have more stimulating properties, more yang properties. I was doing a lot of that for a while. I was also, to be honest, for this training prep, the last 4 weeks, I was slamming the white rice. I mean, like technically, I was only getting 140 grams of carbs from them, but that was just something I felt like I should do in the moment. Um, and yeah, I mean, it. I don't know how much it helped or didn't help. I was losing weight like crazy because of the amount of training I was doing. People don't understand that like these carnivore people. They grill me in the comments if I eat white rice. Like, you're addicted. You just can't help the taste. I'm like, motherfucker, white rice doesn't taste fucking good. It's bland as shit. It's a pain in the ass to like wait an hour for your food when you haven't eaten for like 24 hours and you only eat one meal a day. I was literally doing it for a performance edge. And I just feel like if you keto adapt, honestly, I do feel like that's way fucking better than eating carbs. I still hold true to that. Just takes too much time in the middle of a training camp to keto adapt. I didn't have the time to do so. Anyway, so what I'm doing in my routine now is just like getting into a balance and um, you know, trying to get my meat intake back up because lately I've noticed it's been hard for me to eat more than a pound and a half somehow. Um, anyway, I'll make a video about that later. So one big thing is I'm experimenting with different types of ginsengs now. So I was taking Eleuthero and Panax Red ginseng during this comp prep, and really for a couple of months on and off, like since like August of last year, since I was on and off with ginseng. Actually, since like April of last year, it's been about a year. I've been on and off with Panax Red ginseng, Eleuthero, and whatnot. And so I've the last couple days I've kind of been experimenting, really the last 3 days, with American ginseng. And I'll tell you, if you really get the good stuff, it has a more this is very calming. It is the exact opposite in my experience of Panax Red ginseng. Panax Red ginseng makes you really like stimulated, like in the mind. and allows you to exercise all freaking day long. American ginseng, I notice I definitely it's interesting. I feel like it's a little bit sedating. It's calming, it's grounding. My mind is a lot more in the moment. My flow of thought is more effortless. Whereas with panic for ginseng, my flow of thoughts just like a tornado, just keep going like fast. American ginseng has a grounding, calming, sedating property to it. I think that it is going to continue to improve my sleep because I noticed when I switched over within one day, um, I don't know if there were withdrawals or what, but I definitely felt way more like almost like man, I feel like I've lost out on a lot of sleep, which I know my sleep was pretty poor the last couple weeks leading into competition. So I know I'm probably technically sleep deprived, technically, if there's a such thing as sleep debt, which has never been scientifically proven. Um, I think American ginseng's gonna help me get back into balance. So I will say that I did order the Solgar brand Korean red ginseng extract, and I want to try that on an as needed basis. I think I'm gonna try that for open mat jujitsu on on Sunday. Because I've seen really good reviews about it, just like being the best extract people have taken. They get crazy like erections and energy boost and all this stuff and focus. So I'm gonna try that, and I really want to see how does just a low dose of that Korean ginseng extract from Solgar, how does that compare to the Panax red ginseng whole powder that I take? Because the whole powder was powerful as fuck, and it shouldn't be more powerful than an extract. But I've taken the Nootropics Depot 40% ginsenoside leaf extract in higher doses, and it didn't make me feel stimulated like a crack addict like the powder did, like the raw powder did. So I don't know. I'm gonna see how that is. I'm gonna tell you this: I like how the American ginseng makes me feel. It makes me feel normal, which is what I kind of feel best about. I honestly, these days, I've noticed I enjoy the balancing, calming, grounding effects of things like the Hyperion Herbs Reishi, not the Terrasol. Terrasol makes me feel pretty depressed and like garbage, but Hyperion Herbs Reishi made me feel pretty grounded. But really, it's American ginseng makes me feel like if you're taking L-theanine in the right dose, just like good, right? And I notice when I do my personal training, right, and I'm dealing with clients and I'm like I don't feel anxious. I don't feel as all over the place and whatever. I feel confident, grounded, um and I'm noticing their energy and their and whatnot more. Rather than being up in my own head, I'm like able to focus more on the person in front of me, which is a sign of mindfulness and presence, which is not something you get from Panax or ginseng. Panax or ginseng, I feel, makes me go out of my mind, like um, more anxiety feeling. Whereas this is the opposite. So anyway, go subscribe to Brandon Gilbert. Remember his OG channel, over 40,000 subscribers. I think it's like 45,000. Follow Hyperion Herbs on Instagram and yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Are you excited for the podcast coming out? Because I really am. Um, that's going to be on his channel as well as all the podcast distributors. And I believe he's going to he's going to let me download the link or whatever, download the podcast and put it on my own channel. I don't know. I think I might just cut it up into pieces and release it over time. We'll see. And let me know what your experience has been with different ginsengs, including American ginseng, and I'll talk to y'all next time.